Welcome to another episode of Bourbon and Data Breaches, where we cover 5 of the most interesting breaches from this last week. I'm Steve.
I'm Frank.
This week's cybersecurity breakdown, we have cruise ships to shopping malls, hackers gone wild, infrastructure, art, and margaritas on the line. Let's get started. Starting off with story number 1, Maryland Department of Transportation in the United States. We've got ransomware, and they slammed the Maryland DOT. That means everything from bridge repair schedules to internal emails could now be floating around on the dark web. Traffic was already bad in DC. Now even the hackers are gridlocked.
Yeah, this sounds like the straight definition of bureaucratic nightmare fuel. You got ports, airports, highways, license plates. When such a broad structure is disrupted, the impact is typically much larger than the official statements will ever admit. Sure, they will say the effect was limited, but citizens do not separate between which part of it was touched and which was not. One of them being compromised quickly raises doubts about the resilience of the entire system, and it shows again and again how ransomware is not only a technical issue, but also administrative and maybe political problem.
People already don't like the Department of Transportation in the Maryland area. There's a lot of complaints about traffic. Obviously, there's a bridge issue there, not their fault, but there was the ship that hit the bridge. We know they already have a giant workload. I'm sure that this is not going to make fewer complaints about the Maryland DOT. Well, this is a fun one because we get to talk about Margaritaville at sea. The fun little cruise line, Margaritaville at sea, which is a U.S. cruise line, unfortunately is now Margaritaville at breach. Hackers have allegedly snagged passenger bookings and personal data. Imagine thinking you're escaping stress on a cruise, only to find your credit card already took a trip. Margaritaville at sea sounds like a fun time for hackers.
The headline, when a cruise line that markets itself as carefree and relaxed has to explain a ransomware attack. And the image they sell, leave your worries on land, turn into a whole different reality, while their guests now have to worry about passports, credit cards, booking details. It is not just a disruption of the trip, it is a disruption of trust in the brand. People choose cruises to disconnect and to become part of a data breach headline. For a company built on selling paradise, being listed on a ransomware site can be taken, especially by competitors, as the exact opposite message.
Yeah, the famous song Margaritaville, I don't remember, was it the 3rd or 4th verse that talks about hackers and ransomware stealing your credit cards? I remember Margaritaville, we're having a good time, and then something about ransomware stealing your data. Moving right along to story number 3, Speed Art Museum. That sounds fun. Louisville's Speed Art Museum got hit. This is donor lists, internal notes, and financials all being spilled. That's one way to add dark web chic to the modern art collection. I like to assume all the art in this museum was made really, really quickly, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case.
Yeah, my first thought is that targeting a museum may look minor compared to large corporations or government agencies we often discuss here, but cultural institutions hold information that is highly valuable. Think of donor lists, financial records, and insurance documents. They may protect paintings and sculptures with great care, but the observers are often left far behind in terms of investments and attention.
Well, and this museum's in Louisville, so this is truly a bourbon breach. All right, we've got Pyramid Global Hospitality. They are a luxury hotel management firm, and right now their data is checking into a hacker's suite. Contracts, HR files, and guest details are reportedly up for grabs. Suddenly, that privacy guarantee tagline feels like false advertising. Looks like a lot of fun in those hotels. We'll see what sort of fun the hackers have.
When a management company that handles dozens of hotels is attacked, the consequences are multiplied across every property it serves. This means guest reservations, employee suppliers, contracts, financials, all of them are potentially exposed. Hotel industry depends heavily on reputation and on making guests feel safe and comfortable. So once news of a ransomware attack spreads, it creates chaos far beyond the single property. And yeah, of course, guests may wonder if their personal data is secure. Partners may reconsider the reliability of the company, making the cost of lost confidence often exceed the ransom demand itself.
This last breach is a blast from the past because this one's all about shopping malls. We've got Washington Prime Group, who is a retail real and WorldLeaks ransomware went mall crawling and ended up in Washington Prime Group's systems. Leases, tenant financials, HR files. Basically, your local mall is now running on ransomware as a service. So you remember all those fun malls we used to hang out in? Well, the malls are now hanging out in the darknet.
For a real estate investment trust focused on retail, a ransomware attack lands at the worst possible time. The retail sector is already struggling with changing consumer behavior and financial pressure. The data breach that exposes tenant information, leases, financial records, only sends another message of fragility to investors and partners. It's not just about what information was taken, but about the perception that the organization cannot protect its own foundation. For a business trying to present shopping centers as safe and modern spaces, the failure to secure basic digital assets underlines how difficult that task really is.
I was trying to see if I knew any of the malls that they manage. They've got a ton of malls in Florida. If you've been to a mall in Florida, you've likely been to one of the WPG properties. Certainly going to be top of mind next time you step into a mall. What ransomware gangs have been to this mall? You never know. From state DOTs and cruise ships to art museums and shopping malls, ransomware is spreading faster than buffet shrimp on a cruise liner. This has been your episode of Bourbon and Data Breaches, where hackers sail, shop, and sightsee while your data takes the hit. Stay patched, stay paranoid, and if you're booking a cruise, maybe bring cash. Until next time.